Hello, bonjour. It's, I don't know, about 10 o'clock in the morning, I think. Sharon's busy the next few weeks. Her daughter's visiting, and at the weekends they're going into Lille Sports Stadium because they're here to, or the daughter's here to watch the rugby with her, the Rugby World Cup. So rugby's not really my thing. I don't mind watching it on TV, but it's, having said that, if I was offered to go to the stadium, I would go, but it's not, sport's not really our thing. Anyway, I thought myself, as my knee is much better now and can be a lot more mobile than I have been, I'm trying to keep mobile. And so despite not having Sharon to go for a walk with, I've decided I must go and do something. So today I thought I would try and visit some little towns that I've not seen before, and you can discover them with me. So in a minute we'll be going out in the car and see what we find. I think that I'm only going about 20 minutes from home, but it's still a direction we don't go in very often, and so I have no idea what these little villages or towns are like. This morning I had to do one of the more difficult things of living in a foreign country, and was to make a phone call. I've got to get a rendezvous, an appointment with a dermatologist, so I've got my prescription, or ordinance it's called here, from my doctor on Tuesday, and I've just had to phone Rick to get that rendezvous. It's in a town called Bagnols de l'Orne, which I've taken you to and mentioned many times, and I did it. Although saying that was a bit easy in the end, because I was talking, but the man I was talking to was quite, not fast, but I couldn't quite get what he was saying, and obviously, as usual, he realised I was English and said, "Would you like me to speak English?" And I just said, "Oh, c'est possible," feeling very guilty at the same time. But I still found myself replying to him in French. But anyway, I got my rendezvous, and my rendezvous is on my birthday in January. So that'd be nice, won't it? Anyway, I knew I wouldn't be able to get it too soon. The doctor did say it wouldn't be like years, and it wouldn't be today, but it would be a few months. So, but I've got it now, and hopefully she can sort it out. It's a problem I've had since I had my radiotherapy in 2019. A little blister appeared just underneath my bra line, and it's sort of gradually grown, but it's taken 5 years to grow, and it's not it doesn't look malignant or anything. It's just like almost like a wart, but every now and then because of where it's situated, I sometimes will catch it with my fingernail or something. It has bled before, or sometimes it'll weep. So now I keep a plaster over it to protect it. So I'll be glad to get that sorted, actually, and hopefully she could get rid for me. So yeah, so got that to look forward to. I'm going to get myself together, get in the car, and then I'll see you there. Okay then, I've had to put my sat-nav on as well. Well, I shouldn't get too lost, but it will be going off obviously in the background, so you will hear the voice occasionally. I've got a little thing on the screen, the map, but I'm hoping it doesn't show up on my videoing. I shouldn't do. At some point I might turn you round, but at the moment I think we could have a chat, can't we? Right, let's go. Bit of a grey day today. We're definitely into autumn now, I think. So even though we didn't get a lot of sun, it's gone anyway.
Turn right onto Chemin des Charens, then turn left onto Rue des Artisans. turn left onto Rue des Artisans, D34.
I think I've said to you before, it's quite comical sometimes where the Google lady on the map pronounces some of the French roads. She actually pronounces them quite literally, as you know, a lot of us when we're first learning French do, pronouncing every letter when you don't need to. Quite excited really, because I say it's always nice to discover new places, isn't it? Sharon and I went to Chair Fit yesterday. I've mentioned that before. And Sharon said last night, my legs are really aching. And mine weren't, but of course mine had to wait till bedtime, didn't it? So I'm laying in bed with my, for some reason, just one thigh really throbbing.
In 500 metres, turn right onto D258.
I will. It's such a lovely group. It's mixed French and English, and you know, it's just, we just have a laugh. And because the instructor, she's much better now, but she was quite funny at the start because her pronunciation.
Take the next right onto D258.
Trying to give the instructions in French is quite funny. You'll have seen in a previous video, I'm trying to include more of my life because we can't always be going out and about all the time, and then during the winter it's obviously even more difficult. But I've been doing some sewing. I edited a video the other day, and when I edit it has to then be exported. So, I mean, nothing to people that don't do this sort of thing, and from there it has to then go onto YouTube. And while all this is happening, I can't really do anything with the computer, so I've decided to sew while I'm waiting. And I've had a bag of clothes I'm trying to recycle and change into other things, because I'm not, some of you will know that watch regularly, I'm not sort of a fashion follower or anything like that, and I really don't like to buy clothes very often at all. So if I can repurpose what I've got, then I try and do that. And I had these, the most recent one is I had these two jumpers that were quite big, and I mean I do love a baggy sloppy jumper for sitting around in the winter. And I'd seen a few videos of ladies on YouTube that do the same sort of thing, and one of them especially I like, Catherine Sews.
In 400 metres, turn left onto D157.
So I've decided that once when I looked at it, and I'd cut into them a few months back, but not had the time to do it.
Take the next left onto D157.
And I decided to make them both into cardigans. It's a bit nerve-wracking, but then I think these jumpers were 50
Continue
cents.
on D157 for 1 kilometre.
Yeah, 50 cents at Vid Grenier or something anyway. And I don't feel like it's a good practice sort of project really. I mean, I wouldn't go and buy something from a shop and start cutting it up. So yeah, it's just another repurpose. So I managed to cut the because they were both round. Oh no, one was round neck and one was V-neck. One I cut the neck off and then cut down the front. And I'll put a picture in of what I've done anyway to show you. So yeah, so I've done one. In fact, no, I've done both now. The other one was a much thinner knit and a little bit older. But
Continue
again,
for 1 kilometre.
I still want to reuse it, so I've got two cardigans, are brown but different shades, done slightly differently. The first one I some silk bias binding on as a ribbon to tie it at the front, and the other one I've just left it as just a loose one, but the neck seems a little bit big, so I might do something at the back just to bring it in a little bit. Anybody that doesn't sew is probably thinking, what is she talking about? I'm going to try and not run these people over. Again, you
In 300 metres, turn right onto Rue des Moulins, D129.
Sorry, obviously I need to let her interrupt me so I know where I'm going. Yeah, as you'll have seen in a previous video, we're talking about the fact that we've now bought.
Turn right onto Rue des Moulins, D129.
A garage that we've been using for a few years off of our neighbours. Unfortunately she died, but all the family have been dealing with the sale of the house and the garage, and it was for sale separately, and as we were already using it, the family let us have first offer of buying it. So we've now done that, and it's just really useful because it's right next to the sheet. I'll show you in some pictures if you haven't already seen them. And Duncan can store his work equipment and stuff in there, which is so much better than me having it all stuck in the house under the stairs. And he's built himself a workbench in there as well, so he can actually, he's so pleased with that because he's never had anywhere that he could work other than my front room and sometimes the loft. So he's now got a workbench that he can go in and create. He's like me, we both like to be busy with our hands, we like to be doing things. We don't like to be just vegetating in front of the TV. So it's really good for him. It's going to give him somewhere to work on his bikes as well as making things. We're going to a miniature train show at the weekend. I know it all sounds very nerdy, but Duncan's just really quite passionate about doing this sort of thing. As I say, we like to keep our brain occupied, and I loved seeing things in miniature. Sun's trying to come out. Let's hope this town doesn't disappoint. I might even venture into another town if there's not much there. There's very often some little hidden gems in the countryside.
Continue on N12 for 800 metres.
I've turned onto one of our busier roads now. It's still not what you call busy. I've got one truck behind me and one going past me. Oh, another truck. I say, but it is the main road, so.
In 600 metres, turn left onto La Devise.
Truck coming up very
Continue
close
for 2
behind me
kilometres.
then, even though I was indicating. Right, where are we going now, lovey? I feel like I'm going back where I just come from. Anyway, we'll find out in a minute. I think I'm going to turn you round now, then you can see what I'm seeing. Okay, I've got the anti-shake button on. Hopefully it won't vibrate too much. Frustrating. You see on the left all the maize fields are still there. They're gradually harvesting them. Maize as in corn, sweet corn. On both sides of the road here. The sky's looking very grey. I do hope it's not going to suddenly chuck it down with rain. Duncan and I have been watching quite a lot of films lately. Got some good ones. I don't know if any of you have seen Otto, a man called Otto, with Tom Hanks. Loved it, absolutely loved it. And Dungeons and Dragons is a funny version. That was quite good as well. I've seen one weird one. It's like a spacey one with Adam Driver in it. I can't remember what it was called now. If I can remember the title, I'll put it on the screen. But it was just a weird one. Duncan quite likes weird films.
Turn left onto La Touche, D129.
Whereas I'm not so keen. So I found myself doing a crossword on my phone at the same time. Yes, I say, so we've seen a few. I can't remember the others off the top of my head. One was called Nope, as in N-O-P-E, and it was supposed to be a sci-fi horror. Well, to me, it was one of the most ridiculous films I've ever seen. It was sort of suggested all the time about aliens, but you didn't actually see any. It was sort of a spaceship, but it was absolutely bizarre. I just found myself watching it with a frowned expression. What's going on? Sorry if you can hear the roar of my car in the background. It's not the quietest of cars, as I've not got a luxury car. Talking of cars, we are hoping to get a new car in the new year. Fingers crossed. Especially now with all these new emission rules and everything, we're not going to be able to drive very far in our cars soon because of the emissions. So we're going to get one that's newer and lower emissions.
In 500 meters, turn left.
Do you know what? I think this sat-nav has just taken me on a loop. I've just done this bit of road and gone left. And now it's taking me there again. Bizarre. Unless I missed a turn. Right, I'm going to go straight across. Waste of time. Go straight across and have another look at the sat-nav. I think she's lost her signal a bit and it's not working properly.
Continue for 1.5 kilometers.
Oh, she doesn't know what she's talking about now. I'm going to have a look. Well, I'm going to ignore her now because she took me on a complete loop. Back where I actually, well, not where I started, but I'd been before. So now I'm going to go towards the direction that I know it is, and hopefully she'll find me. At least I'm not too far from home. Okay, so going in blind. Let's head to where I think it is. Nice views around here. This part is just quite hilly and there's views all around. It's pretty. The snail farm on the left. Yes, I did say snail. You know the French like their escargot. Cleaned the car yesterday. I hoovered inside and I cleaned the outside. I know. We got splashed in a lot of mud behind a tractor at the weekend and it came off quite easily. But I was quite quite pleased with myself, so I'm quite bad at cleaning my car regularly. But it does, in the countryside, it seems to get so dirty though as well, and you think, oh, I could be cleaning it every day if I was really bothered. It's funny, you see these houses on their own, no neighbours or anything close by. I think I'd feel quite isolated. Although they have got this other house on the left here. It's quite a pretty one. But it's all shut up, so I reckon that's a maison secondaire. So in other words, a second house that they use just for holidays. I haven't actually been able to get out in my car for about a week because Duncan had to use it for work. He went out to get in his car one morning and he had a flat tyre. And he waited that long for a new tyre to arrive at the garage. So we went and had that done night before last. So I've got my car back again. It's like losing your limb, isn't it, when you can't use your car?
In 600 metres, turn left onto Rue Perrine, D113. Continue on D113 for 3 kilometres.
Sadly, a lot of these little towns have become very quiet because obviously the work isn't there for younger people locally, and unless they're prepared to drive, which a lot of the French aren't prepared to drive very long, they end up moving into big towns. And I think it's a shame because you end up thinking that these little towns eventually are going to end up being empty. But they are trying to build newer estates within these towns, trying to attract people to live in the countryside but work in town, as it were. Funny enough, we went to a vide grenier at the weekend and there was a lady we got chatting to there, and she's moved from Paris into Ernay, which is near Billy's, the Petherick Chateau, and her husband travels into Paris every day for work, and it's rare to hear that. He gets the train from Laval into Paris, and it takes, I think it's just over an hour. And I don't know about you, but in London it used to take me an hour and a half sometimes to get to work, which I think in UK it's almost accepted that you have to travel a long way to get to work sometimes, because the French don't seem to like to do that. We tell them how long it used to take to get to work, especially to our neighbours, they'd like look at us in a complete shock. But our neighbour, when he was working, used to only travel 15 minutes to work, maybe 20.
In 600 metres, turn right onto La Croix Barbe, D147.
She's woken up. I think we might be going the right way.
Right onto La Croix Barbe, D147.
There it is. It's called, the road where we're going to is called Champs-Genetu.
Continue on D147 for 5 kilometres.
This is taking me a bit longer than I expected it to, but I don't mind. I like the driving around the countryside. Hopefully you've seen the recent video where we, on our last day of our holiday, we, oh, they look sweet, those flowers, where we stopped at it says the Jardin de Kangaroo, but they weren't actually kangaroos in the park, there were hindsight, I'm quite glad there weren't kangaroos and that they were running around, because they can be quite vicious apparently. Didn't really fancy getting in a boxing match with a kangaroo. But the wallabies were so sweet, and so you could just wander amongst them and they're jumping around. And the only thing is, I felt sorry for the first that you come to, because you can they get given a bag of dried, like almost like croutons in a bag, and they're to feed them with. Everybody does this, and because as soon as you get in, you're keen to feed the wallabies, and so all those the wise ones are at the front by the first gate, and they all seem to get the food. And by the time you get to the back of the park, all those wallabies, you're getting a bit short on croutons. Poor things. Should warn you really when you go in. Try and save some for the wallabies at the back. Hope you're sitting there with your coffee or your wine, whatever you're doing, and just enjoying the countryside. We're here. There we are. Champs-Élysées. Is there anything here? Oh, look at that. That on the right there. The Cafe Epicerie. Lovely, an old sign. Bizarre, someone in the countryside with that boat. We haven't got that much water around. Another very quiet town. Why am I turning left? I'm at the town I want to be on, love. I don't know where it's taking me, but there you go. Don't know if it's worth getting out and filming for you or not. Very quiet. Oh, there's a plan d'eau. This means like there's basically a park with water. Let's go and see.
In 200 metres, at the roundabout, take the
down
second exit onto D159.
Okay. I've got to go past the route bar just to turn round. Plando's still in front of us, according to that sign. Ah, here's the Plando. Okay. I'd missed it. I'm going to park up and have a walk, I think.
Make a U-turn, then turn left onto Route de Trans.
No, I don't want to. I'm going to look at the park. Yeah, that's got a trap there. Probably for the koi poo, which I can't remember what their other name is. Koipu are a bit of a pest in the area. They get into people's lofts and basically just wreck things. See fish jumping out of the water. At least I assume it's a fish. Just saw something jump, but I missed it. think I'll walk that way around, as I say, get some steps in. I might not take you the whole way around because it's all going to look the same. It's a slight chill in the air today. The eagle-eyed amongst you will notice I'm using my Emmaus handbag that I bought a few weeks back, or a few months back now. It's those, what do they call them, boatmen or something on the river? I don't know if you can see them. A lot of them. I'm going to have to research the name, but it's something to do with boatmen, I think. I wonder what that's there for. I wonder if that's some sort of pump. I can hear water running there, if you can hear it. A lot of dampness in the grass, so my trainers are getting a little bit wet. We're not using our garden so much now because obviously the weather's changed. We had a few weeks of no sun or anything, so the tomatoes come to a halt. Strawberries came to a halt, but yeah, then all of a sudden we had a week of sunshine, and according to Duncan, we've now got some tomatoes and some lovely strawberries, so I'll be doing that when I get back. This time we got strawberries that apparently carry on all year round, or they keep coming back, and they've actually done that because it shows you how the strawberries we had before weren't that type, and we didn't get many strawberries at all, and these ones are doing much better. So even though there's still not a huge amount at all, it's better than we've had in the past years. Well, that was a nice little walk. I got around there quicker than I expected. Beautiful trees. This big old oak tree. Back to the car. Well, that was nice to get out and get some air. As I say, I'll get back, pick my strawberries and think about doing lunch. There, home again. Hopefully you enjoyed that. I'll try not to make it too long for you, but until I edit it, I don't really know how much I'm ever going to cut out, but it's quite a nice little sort of trip for me. It's nice to get out of the house for a bit and see another couple of towns. Not that it was very impressive really, but there you go. And hopefully I haven't had any interruptions because I forgot to put it in airplane mode. So anyway, I'm going to go in now, have a cup of tea and have some lunch. I'll see you in the next video. Au revoir.